6.2 ounces. It's probably the smallest little blade I have ever seen. You can see it's ultra thin. Well, it's so good to be back with you guys. It's been a couple of weeks and I had COVID and it knocked me on my rear end pretty good. In today's video, we're going to go over this, which is my everyday carry ultralight edition. Why ultralight? Because now when we're traveling, there are a lot of airlines that are weighing your personal item and wearing your carry-on bags to make sure that you can get them onto the plane with you. And so I have gathered a few of these things that are ultralight but still very useful. And this little set right here comes with me on my travel adventures in my personal carry-on. I'm going to go over all of these things with you today. When I travel, I still like to have a lot of things with me on my travel adventures that just make me feel like I have a few things that can get me through a bind or help me out in situations. And I always carry an EDC, and I always carry it in my personal carry-on. Why? Because if I put it in my checked luggage and they check it and they lose it, this totals up to a lot of money and a lot of research that I did to get these items. So I want to make sure I have them with me. These are all TSA approved, of everything that's in here. And I'll show you a few things in this video that you may want to carry if you're doing checked luggage that are not going to make it through TSA, but you might want to have on your travel adventures. But with no further ado, let's go through what's in my little bag and on my keychain and show you my ultralight everyday carry for travel. And here's the weight in grams. And this weighs 176 grams or 6.2 ounces. Let's go through what's in this tiny little leather keychain pouch first. All right, number one thing I have in here is a hair tie because I'm always looking to pull my hair up, so I always have one of those. The second thing I have is another one of these little clips that allows you to lock your zippers on your bags. I just like to have an extra one in case I need it. It also acts as a little mini carabiner, but this way if I need to lock zippers up on my bags, I have that. I also have money. I just have 20 bucks rolled up in here just in case you need it. And a little doggy bag. You know, I had a dog and I always carried a doggy bag just in case. And it's good for a lot of things. If you're going to get sick or something, good for that. Let's go through some other things here. Of course, my P51, I've talked to many of you about this before. This is a little military can opener. This has saved my butt a couple of times when I got in a can that did not have a pull tab and I was able to open it. I did not have it the first time I went out somewhere, and I decided to carry that with me all the time. The next thing I have in here is a little tiny eyeglass screwdriver so that I can fix and repair my sunglasses or my glasses. I always carry a little pair of tweezers, so if there's a splinter or something I need to pull out, this has always been something I'm glad I've had. Ticks, this is great if you have to remove ticks. This is a wonderful thing. This out. Next thing I have is a tiny little bolt action pen. And yes, folks, it does write. All right, we're going to show you this on my all-weather notebook that this little bolt action pen does actually write things. So a great little pen to have. Also, I like to carry a notepad like this. This is an all-weather notebook, so that I always have a pen and notebook with me. Of course, obviously that doesn't fit in here, but it can be something that you carry with you as part of your everyday carry. Next thing I have is an ultra slim pair of nail clippers, and I like this because they open up nice and wide, which I really like, and great for clipping, and then they just slide back in place. You can see super thin. Love these. Next thing I have is a folding nail file. Now mine is very old. I got this in Germany many years ago. It has a fine side here and a rougher side. I've used this thousands of times and it's never been confiscated. I've had this for over 30 years and this is a great thing to have. And I also have 2 little bobby pins because sometimes, again, my hair or holding a ball cap on, these are great if you put them in your ball cap to help hold your ball cap on if it's windy. The last thing I have in here is an actual, it's a basically a box cutter. And what I love about it is I can open this with one hand like this and close it with one hand. Now, if you're wondering how I get this on the plane, I remove the blade completely because I can buy a box cutter blade. This is basically a utility blade anywhere, and just put it in here, and then I have a knife with me. So I love this one because you can see it's ultra thin. It's made out of titanium. It has a little bit of brass right here, and it also has a belt clip. So if I want to clip it onto my pants pocket or something, it has a pocket clip here. This thing is really light. Let's find out how much this thing weighs. This weighs 13 grams. All right, let's go over what's in this keychain. And I'm going to start off with this right here, which is my TSA Approved Multi-tool. It's approved by TSA because there's no knife on it. I like that it has a carabiner. It also has a teeny tiny pair of tweezers on here. Now, I think these are a little small. They could probably work in a pinch if you needed to use them, but I like a bigger pair personally for myself. It also has a pair of scissors here. And yes, these do meet the TSA requirements because they measure from the fulcrum to the point. These have never been taken from me. So it's something that I like to carry. It also has a nail file, which for me isn't a great nail file, but it has a little flathead screwdriver right there. And then it also opens up to a pair of wire cutters, pliers, and a small little, some sort of, plier lock thing. So you can use this to get bolts or to, use things like plier edges on here. So I like that about this set. Um, I have a couple of different everyday carries, but I like this one because of that pliers. And again, it comes with a little key ring holder and a carabiner to be able to hook it to whatever you need to. Let's weigh this now. And this weighs 46 grams. All right, let's get on to the rest of the keychain here. So this is a titanium carabiner, so it's really light, and this is a back scratcher. And I know you think, gosh, that doesn't seem like an everyday carry thing, but folks, this has helped me out so many times when something fell on the floor on the plane and you bend your head down and you just can't quite get to it. Your head is up against the chair in front of you. This had reached and grabbed my glasses, things like that. Also, it does make a great back scratcher, and it does make something that's good for your grandchildren to play with, but it's something that I do bring along with me. The next thing I have on here is a titanium pill carrier because I have a couple of pills that I bring with me all the time, and this is in a waterproof container, so it'll make sure that everything stays nice and dry, plus it's ultra light. This carries just enough for me to be able to have a couple of my must-have prescriptions right with me, and it's waterproof. I also carry a whistle, and this one works great. It's nice and loud and ultra light. I also carry sometimes this little multi-tool. It looks like a key, which is really nice. It has a bottle opener, a flathead screwdriver, it has some hex places to open up a hex bolt, and it's just a nice little titanium everyday carry. If you want something small, this is the thing to carry. And I also have a tiny little flashlight. This little thing is so small, but it does shine. It'll give you some light. If you're looking for like something in your purse or something, this works great. And it just turns off by turning it back. And then everything is on this ultra light keychain. You can see how thin it is. It's titanium. So everything on here is titanium, super light. Let's weigh everything that's on here. Start off with this little titanium keyring. And it's not even registering. It's registering between 0 and 1 gram, as you can see right there. My titanium whistle, 4 grams. My little multi-tool, 6 grams. My little light, 8 grams, 7 grams. and my pill container with my pills in it, 20 grams. For those of you who think that this bolt action pen is just too small for you to handle and write with, I do like this one. It has a nice texture to it, has a keyring option, and it has a special cap, so it doesn't come off unless you push the cap and pull it off. And yes, it also does write really, really well. So that's just another option if you have something, you want something a little thicker. The trickiest thing about this is you do have to kind of push this in and put that back on to get this to lock back on there. If you don't do that just right, this pen will fall out. But this is a great option if you want something with a little more texture and it's a little bit easier to use. As far as weight difference, let's give it a check. This small little one here weighs 5 grams and this larger one weighs 21 grams. Another great find was this everyday carry comb. It's also made out of titanium. If you wanted to hook it on to a keychain or something, you could, but it's so nice and small and slips into a pocket. And if you just need something to take care of your hair, this works great. Let's find out how much this weighs. And this weighs 11 grams. Another option for a pill carrier is this one. As you can see, it's quite long, but it breaks down into sections, so I can keep medications separate if I needed to. That way, if you don't want your medication all mixed up, each of these sections will hold, one long pill or a couple of smaller ones, and then you can kind of mix and match. If you just want one tiny little carrier, then you can just take this one, or if you want to add just one section on, you can just add one section on and make it a little bit bigger. Or if you want all 3 sections put together, because you need to have some great medication with you, prescription medication especially. If there's something like nitroglycerin, things you need to have on you, this makes a great little everyday carry, also made of titanium. This one weighs, if I can get it to stay, 14 grams empty. Now, these are not TSA approved, meaning you're not going to be able to put these in your carry-on luggage, but here are a couple of other items that are ultra small and ultra light. One is this tiny little fold out knife that you can use as a thing to open up packages and things like that. It doesn't lock out, so you'd have to be careful because it will close up like this, but it's nice and light, made of titanium, and it has a little key ring here. This next one is also small. It's probably the smallest little blade I have ever seen. It slides up just like this, so that you have a little box cutter able to be used quickly, and slides back down. It does lock into place, which is nice, so it's not just going to go back down unless you press this button and slide it. It's also titanium, and let's find out how much these weigh. This little fold-out blade, let's weigh it. This weighs 7 grams. And then our little slide out blade, let's give this away. And this weighs 5 grams. All right, that's everything in my ultralight everyday carry. What is in yours? What's that one thing you're like, I take this with me no matter what, and I put it in my personal carry-on, and I've used it a few times, and I'm glad I have it. Leave that in the comments below. Let me know what that is. And let me know if there's that one thing that you're like, gosh, I don't use it very often, but I'm really glad I've had it when I did carry it. Put that in the comments as well. Well, if you've made it this far in the video, it means you probably liked it. So if you could do me a favor and give me a thumbs up, that would be great. Also, share this video with someone you think might enjoy having an ultralight everyday carry for their travel adventures. Until the next time, remember to juice life, drink the joy, keep life simple. Remember to lighten up on your everyday carry when you travel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.